Hello traders, my name is Tomasz Wiśniewski. I'm a chief analyst in Alpha Research and Analysis, and this is daily analytical report. First one this year. We have really interesting movements on the market right now. Well, you will see by yourself. We do have a few interesting trading signals. Hopefully you were trading last week. We did not have a daily analytical report, but we are still recording trading sniper videos and writing our analysis, and we were posting our ideas on Twitter, for example. So if you are trading and if you were with us, you definitely should be happy because most of our analysis were right, and the market is actually moving this way. Obviously, we have to start with the calendar. Yesterday, we did not have any major data, but that data that was shown was better than expected. Only positive outcome here, so data better than expectations. As for today, also mostly we do have a positive news. We had a trade balance data from Germany, so the biggest economy in Eurozone. We unfortunately we don't have any super important data today. All eyes are on Friday, because on Friday we'll get retail sales and CPI from US. Obviously traders are focusing on non-farm payrolls, right? But inflation is the key in terms of the inflation rate. So traders should more watch inflation if they want to trade based on the interest rate decisions. But that's on Friday. On Thursday we will have a bit of a Fed speak. William Dudley will talk about economic policy of the Fed, industrial production from Eurozone. Wednesday will be important day for China and British pound. Overnight, we found out that Bank of Japan will start to taper their bond buying program, which resulted in a strength of the Japanese yen. Actually, I prepared a yearly newsletter, our outlook for the Japanese yen, where I wrote that it is probable that the Bank of Japan will start tightening their view and approach towards the monetary policy, and that started now. I was more thinking about second half of the year, but we can see that it starts now. These are fundamentals. Not much is happening. No major events. We have a bit of a Bitcoin, right? We have a bit of North Korea, because North Korea said that they will send a sport team, supporters and delegation to South Korea for the Winter Olympics, which will be next month. Which is kind of a positive information, right, for the markets. And obviously we do have the best start of the year on stocks, I think, in the last 8 years. That's euphoria, actually. The price stocks are having all-time highs, are making all-time highs It's really crazy what is happening on these stocks right now. Okay, let's move to the charts, right? Actually, we'll start with gold, because gold was climbing higher and higher and higher. I deleted most of those lines to show you, to post a nice picture on Twitter about this pennant formation, that, well, pennant symmetric triangle, that it should result with a bullish upswing. But you can see that the price is breaking the lower line of the pennant, which is pretty unusual. But nothing is happening. It's still good because we are still above the long-term uptrend line here, this green line. And as long as we are above the green line, the uptrend, which started here in the middle of December, it's not endangered. I think it's, as long as we stay above the green line, markets are safe. Markets, buyers of the gold are fairly safe as long as we stay above the long-term green uptrend line. Next one is Singaporean American dollar to Singaporean dollar, which on weekly chart is creating an interesting reversal candlestick formation, which is bullish engulfing. We'll see if it will end this way, but the most probable scenario for now, for me, is the price reversing and testing recent support as a closest resistance. And this support is marked with the blue color, and I see this kind of a movement. We do have a trend line here as well. So this kind of a movement testing the trend line and a horizontal resistance wouldn't be a surprise for me. I think it's doable, and traders should brace and wait for that, should anticipate this. Next one is Euro to Japanese yen, which is having a very nice setup, because here we knew that there is a positive sentiment towards this pair. There is a buy signal because the price defended horizontal support. Everything was going great, and then we had mostly like positive days here. The price was climbing higher significantly, but this decision about tapering the bond buying program resulted with a stronger yen. Well, also Euro has its own problems, right? Technical problems on the euro dollar, but also problems in Germany with the coalition, because we still don't have a new government after the elections in Germany. So the end of the story is that we are having a reversal here, which is testing, which is about to test recent resistance as a closest support. And that's our scenario, and for now we are about to test this area as a closest support. We will have a combination here of a horizontal support and long-term uptrend line. Next one is Australian dollar to American dollar, which was doing really great, right? We had this triangle, the price went significantly higher, broke the horizontal resistance. Then the price created a channel up formation, then broke the lower line of this channel up formation, and that's where the trouble started, because now the price created a head and shoulder pattern, left shoulder, head and right shoulder, and actually we are now aiming the neckline, and breakout of this area will be a strong sell signal, especially that, look, we are breaking now the midterm trend line. So come back below the Fibonacci here in this horizontal support will trigger us a strong sell. Maybe not long term, but a strong sell signal in the short term and in the mid term. Next one is Kiwi. I was observing Kiwi because I was waiting for the price to get there for a strong buy signal, and I missed like 12 pips. Oh, it's not a lot, but the thing is that it would be much better if the price did go like those 10 pips lower. Why is that? Because we would have a correction equality pattern, and we would have a nice test of the horizontal support here. What's that support? That's this support, and a test of the long-term uptrend line. But the buying pressure was so strong that they did not go there. There was no chance for this correction equality pattern. But we were right with the total positive sentiment towards Kiwi, because that's what happened. So here positive sentiment continues, and actually we do have some nice setups for the long position on New Zealand dollar. Maybe not here, because here the dollar is also strong, but New Zealand dollar against weaker currencies, we do have a potentially very good trading setup there. I will show you that obviously. Euro dollar touched this resistance, went to the place where it was expected that the price will go. So this yellow area, which was a support in 2012 and yearly highs last year in 2017, price went there again, tested that, and we do have a reversal. First, let me start with the weekly candlestick chart, because if we talk about the resistance from 2012, well, it would be nice to look on a weekly chart, because it's a long-term bearish situation, right? Long-term bearish setup. So let's look on a weekly chart. And the price last week created a pin bar. That's a doji, so a candlestick with a long head, long tail. When it touches the resistance, that's a bad signal. That's a bad signal for the buyers. And the thing is that what makes it bad is the fact that we are following the signal. So we do have a new week, and in the new week the price is making lower lows and lower highs. So far it's only Tuesday, so everything can happen, like the price can reverse, but for now it does not look like the price will reverse. So now it looks like the signal from the last week is respected, and it looks like this downswing should be continued. On a daily chart, maybe no, on H4 chart, what we have is a double bottom. We had those 4 flags, right? You remember those 4 flags? First one, second one, third one, fourth one. Very technical. And actually, price continues to trade in a technical way because we tested this resistance, and the price created double top formation. So it's not like they bounced randomly or behaved randomly. No, that was a legitimate test of the resistance and a legitimate reaction, bearish reaction, right? So double top formation. And here that was a ultra crucial level for euro dollar, because the price created double top formation and in the same time broke the horizontal support, and in the same time broke the uptrend line. So that triggered a strong sell signal. What is more, look at that, breakout of the horizontal support, then tested that as a resistance, and it happened yesterday. That was a very good sell signal here. So broken support tested as a resistance and a reaction. Now the price is just following this movement. The sentiment in the short term is negative. The sentiment in the long term remains positive, but I wouldn't enter with the long position right now, because I think that the price will continue to go a bit lower. So if you want to buy, I'm thinking that we should get better prices soon. And by better for buying, I mean obviously lower prices. Cable. Here also the recent strength of the American dollar can be seen, because the price actually denied the pennant formation, or pennant or symmetric triangle formation, because it should result with a bullish breakout. It did not. It resulted with a bearish breakout. So the breakout of the lower line of this formation, which was less likely to happen according to the technical analysis. But hey, it happened. There was a strong resistance. They couldn't handle this resistance. They couldn't beat this resistance, and the price decided to go lower. The closest potential support, the target for this movement, is the yellow line. So we can see a further drop on cable. Next one is dollar index. Dollar index is heading to ultra important resistance created by the neckline of this head and shoulder formation. Left shoulder, head, and right shoulder, there's a neckline. We broke the neckline, fair enough, at the end of the 2017. Breakout of the neckline triggered as a sell signal. This comeback is not a surprise. Almost always, a broken support is tested as a resistance. So we are about to make that happen. We are about to test recent support as a closest resistance. So that's a normal price action, and the chances that it was going to happen were quite high. I think that the price can even break the neckline, and I will not be surprised, and it will not change my bearish approach towards the dollar, because my bearish approach towards the dollar would be changed if the price would break the long-term downtrend line. For now, chances for that are limited, as long as let's say it like that. As long as we stay below that line, below the long-term downtrend line, the sentiment is negative. The sentiment is negative, and there is a selling pressure for the American dollar. Bitcoin. Introducing Bitcoin to the exchanges actually removed some attractions from this, or just increased popularity, created the situation when other investors are not only choosing Bitcoin but also choosing other cryptocurrencies. That is why we do have some spectacular movements on other currencies, and we don't have those kind of movements, those kind of spectacular movements on the Bitcoin. From the technical point of view, I would say that we are inside of a triangle here. We have a potential pressure to the upside. because triangle usually is a trend continuation pattern. Euro to British pound, two biggest European currencies. Now what we do have here is a kind of a bearish sentiment. So pound seems a bit stronger than euro. Why is that? Well, first of all, because there is this wedge. Wedge is a trend continuation pattern. Before wedge was created, the price was making lower lows and lower highs, so the trend was bearish. Also, the price came back below 0.8850 support. So price being below the lower line of the wedge and the horizontal support creates a negative sentiment here on euro to British pound. Next one, American dollar to Canadian dollar. Here at the end of the year we stated that American dollar should be weaker, Canadian dollar should be stronger, and that's what's happening. But how far we can go? Like, it's our long-term prediction here, and that there was this impulse here and this impulse here. This one was 2,200 pips. This one was 1,700 pips. So far we did like 480. So we can either make an impulse like the second one, so still 1,200, or a bit bigger, like in 2016 we can make 2,200 drop, so from current levels 1,700. But that's like an expectations for the end of the year. But at the beginning of the year everybody wants to know expectations for the end of the year, so that's what we are saying. We are saying that next few months should be negative for American dollar to Canadian dollar. We should see a continuation of this bearish movement. S&P 500, that's euphoria. We broke the upper line of the channel up formation. Look at that. All days in 2018 were positive and very, very positive. Like, those candles are awesome, are absolutely perfect. These are not candles like that, small candles. These are significant rises. Nothing to add here, nothing more to add here. Euro to Swiss franc continues the upswing in the wedge formation. Breakout of the lower line of the wedge should trigger us a bigger bearish correction. WTI oil, very, very positive sentiment, but probably we're gonna approach this long-term, mid-term uptrend line, where we can have a test of this bullish sentiment. But in overall, there is a positive sentiment towards this commodity. American dollar to Swiss franc. American dollar is reversing. Here what we had is a pennant formation as well. Pennant resulted with instead of trend continuation, resulted in a trend reversal. In the short term I see test of this green resistance created by those lows. So for me the upswing of 30 pips is very, very probable, and it should happen, which creates a good short-term trading opportunity. FTSE is having this ascending triangle pattern, a breakout of the horizontal resistance here. Ascending triangle, we spotted this formation here at the beginning of December, and we are telling you about the bullish sentiment from the very beginning of December, and it's happening, right? The price broke the horizontal resistance of the ascending triangle pattern, which actually triggers a buy signal here. So the sentiment is very positive. And DAX is one of my favorites, because here, when the price was here, I wrote an analysis that it's the last place for the buyers to recover and to trigger a strong buy signal, and they did. They managed to create a hammer candlestick. Hammer candlestick bounce from the uptrend line, bounce from the lower line of the of the wedge formation. Only positive days, well, apart from this one, but that's not a biggie. We had this positive day, actually, first day of January, hammer, then confirmation of this hammer because the price making higher highs and higher lows, another, and now the situation is that they bounced from ultra important support and they broke the upper line of the wedge, and breakout of the upper line of the wedge triggers strong buy signal here. So buy signal was created here. Here is another one. Here actually, well, that's not a big thing, but what we do have here is a flag in an uptrend, so we should see a breakout of the upper line of the flag, but it's like the weakest setup from all. But here is a good one. I wanted to show you euro to New Zealand dollar because this pair was in an uptrend, price was making higher highs and higher lows, and at the end of that the price created a head and shoulder pattern. Left shoulder, head and the right shoulder. Then we before that we broke the trend line, then we broke the neckline, and we broke the horizontal support on 23.6. So price here triggered a sell signal, and there is a legitimate sell signal on euro to New Zealand dollar. Canadian dollar to Japanese yen. Japanese yen got stronger after this decision of Bank of Japan, but here is trading against another strong currency, so Canadian dollar. That is why this drop is not so good, it's not so big. Here the price met horizontal resistance, very important one, but as you can see on an hourly chart, well, yes, it resulted in a drop, but the price is still in a flag formation. Flag formation suggests that the subswing will be continued, and it doesn't mean the breakout of this horizontal resistance, but what it means is possible another test of this resistance, right? So maybe breakout is a little bit, it's a little bit too early to say that we're gonna have a breakout, but at least a test here or another test of this resistance, well, that's probable. Euro to New Zealand dollar, this is my favorite. Why my favorite? Because we do have a head and shoulder formation here. Still no signal from this, but signal will be created once the neckline will be broken. But we are drawing right shoulder, and here the price broke the midterm uptrend line here, and that was a false breakout. And also price created a wedge. Wedge is a trend continuation pattern. Breakout of the lower line of the wedge triggers a sell signal. So here we have a combination of three factors. First one is a false breakout, second one is breakout of the lower line of the wedge, third one is the breakout of the horizontal support, and then test as a resistance here, breakout, test as a resistance, and a downswing. And on top of that we also have this head and shoulder formation, and most probably the neckline will be tested. So we do have those few bearish factors. That is why it's one of the best setups for me, especially like on H4 chart. You can see on H4 and this beautiful shooting star candlestick. Maybe it's not relevant for European traders, but Australian dollar and New Zealand to New Zealand dollar, well, that's currency, those currencies from antipodes. So this shooting star was made when Australian and New Zealand session were open, so it makes them relevant. Australian dollar to Canadian dollar, breakout from the symmetric triangle and a breakout of the support, which triggers us a sell signal. And American dollar to Japanese yen, you can see this initial reaction after this tapering is now retraced. Almost all movement is retraced. And euro to American dollar, here I was just having this weekly chart just to show you how important is this resistance, right? So for me, no surprise that we're having this kind of movement. We do have this support, We do have this resistance, price moving very technically on euro dollar, respecting those horizontal levels. Very nice. Okay, so we can see that we do have some nice trading setups. We do have some nice trading opportunities. I hope you enjoyed our first daily analytical report this year. I hope that during this year we'll find some excellent trading setups and we'll have some decent trading signals. Thanks very much for watching daily analytical report. Now a short break. After that, a webinar about basics of the forex market. And in the meantime, visit our Twitter account and our website alpari.news. Thanks very much and goodbye.